It is the Homemade Broadcast, episode 527.
Why does it say 526?
Because I'm an idiot. I'm a freaking idiot. My name's Will Kuncz. This is Anna Hummel. Welcome to the program. Hi, Anna.
What's going on, man?
Oh my gosh.
I'm excited for today.
It's gonna be. It's a lot.
I've been waiting for today for a long time, Will.
A lot going on,
Give
boy.
the
I
people
tell
what
you.
they want.
I tell you what. Oh no, the cat bowl just went off.
It is 6 p.m.
6 p.m. They're gonna be knocking at the
June
door.
and Barb need their dinner. And
Oh
they need it
man.
now.
Well, they might be too scared of you. So they might
Why?
not, because they're scared. Well, at least the more black one is afraid of
Yeah.
pants. Yeah. But anyway, this is the show that we do on Wednesdays here on willsyoutube.com. And we air on Radio St. Pete on Sundays at 6:05, I believe. It's a very weird time. And of course, podcast, HMB Radio on iTunes, Spotify. Now we're going to do something very special. I'm trying to work out special things that we can do. And just relax.
Sorry.
She's flexing. She's flexing.
The lighting is on point right now, and it's getting a little bit ridiculous. But sorry, proceed.
So this is the new plan. So we're gonna do a half an hour. If you're listening on Radio St. Pete, I would encourage you to join us on Wednesdays, or check out the show on YouTube, whatever, because we're gonna do a half an hour for Radio St. Pete and the audio only podcast. Now we're going to start doing extra uncensored stuff after that. So we'll do a little bit more time on YouTube and Rumble and, etc. So we got some special things planned today. A little bit, just been some things that have happened this week.
The Radio City people are like, what is going on?
They have no idea. They have no idea.
Yeah. It goes deep, it goes dark. So please join us on HMB Radio YouTube.
Now, I think what I want to do as well is start putting the full, including the audio only extra content, the whole thing,
Okay.
on Substack.
Ooh, okay.
So maybe I'll just do would you guys pay $1 a month to get the full?
She's gonna be like, no.
It might
no.
be. It might be. I don't know. I don't know how to do it, but I would like to try to offer some sort of extra content on Substack. So HMB Radio on Substack. I guess I'm going to start maybe offering like a 6 months or 3 months or something for free, and then after that I'll charge you $1. Yeah, or it's already getting no. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm still figuring that out.
We're figuring it out. Can I just reply to one comment that I saw?
Sure. Which
if
one?
You could scroll up a little bit.
Yep.
I believe it's Donkey Teeth right there. He goes, Anna, I think it says, Anna, you look like you've lost 300 pounds.
Wow.
What does he mean by that? Does he mean that because I've been working out so much since I've been unemployed, or is there something else that's attached to that?
Yeah, I don't know. That could be
that is exactly what we will be addressing in the bonus uncensored show, which I'm very excited about, Will.
Yeah.
Because I've kept my mouth shut for quite some time.
You have.
And it's time for me to tell the people the truth.
Right.
Which I feel like they are owed. The people are owed the truth. You are owed the truth. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. So that's the extra only. See, if you're listening on podcast or Radio St. Pete, you're going to have no idea what's going on. So head over to willsyoutube.com, subscribe. You can follow you can email the show, thehomemadebroadcast@gmail.com, 813-693-2124. And Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at home_made_man. If you'd like to Venmo the program, I do split the proceeds with Anna. It's just my name on Venmo.
He's good about
Will
that.
Kuncz. Yeah. This guy wants you to, I saw him on Twitter say that he just wants you to start your own show.
No offense, Will, though.
He did put no offense, Will, which is kind of nice. I think I'm not so bad, Jeff. I don't know what the big deal is, why you can't tolerate me. That's kind of rude.
I have to be honest. Will, you're probably my favorite person I've ever worked with in radio.
See that, Jeff? How about that?
And
Suck on that, buddy.
It might be because I actually like Will as a human being.
That's right.
Sometimes you have to fake it. Sometimes you have to fake it hard.
Yeah.
But with Will, we have a lot of similar interests and a lot of similar ideas when it comes to just life, society, culture in general. So it's really easy for us to just do radio together. So I like doing radio alone. I don't mind it. I prefer doing it with someone that I enjoy working with. So frig off. Who said that?
Jeff. Freaking Jeff. The classic Jeff there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a classic Jeffrey move. Naturally Inspired says you guys should do on Twitch. I don't know how to do that, man. I'm too boomered out. I don't know how to do Twitch. I
We're
also
not hot girls in hot tubs, so I feel like that's
I
the
thought
arena
Twitch
for Twitch.
was woke. Like if you say
They
anything
are.
about trans or something, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yes, that is true. But also, apparently, it's turned into just a frenzy of hot girls in bikinis in hot tubs.
In hot tubs.
Yes. And I guess if you try to ban them, then you hate women. So you better leave us on so we can make some money.
I mean, I'll put a wig on and then can I talk my ass?
Yeah, I think that
At
should
that
be all
point?
right. You're
Okay.
trans or something. We'll figure it
Trans,
out.
okay.
We're working on this. We appreciate all the ideas in the comments.
Someone did on the video from last week just comment that I look like Rosie O'Donnell, which was hurtful.
No, you don't. You looked more like Ellen DeGeneres. Didn't we discuss that?
Yeah, but fat Ellen DeGeneres.
I didn't say that.
I did.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, so I don't know about Twitch. I think I do actually have I think I have Twitch, but I don't know how to use it. I don't know what the protocol is.
I think we should stick with Rumble. I think that's
Rumble,
more,
I think, is the way to go.
I think that's more of our space, our arena. So I think we should stay there.
I saw somebody said I don't have Venmo. You should do super chats. I want to. Okay, so let me touch on something real quick because, and it's kind of alludes to your thing. I know that you didn't listen to the program where you were notified about your NDA no longer being in. I guess it's just vanished somehow. You didn't. It's just gone now, and we'll talk about that later. But I did listen to it. And the thing that hurt me the most,
I know where this is going, and I didn't even listen. But go ahead.
So I was, you probably do too. So I was listening. Well, no, not really, but it was something kind of, because it was something along the lines of Anna's got a new home, with Will over there on his pocket, and Bubba was like, "Oh, that's fine. She can do whatever she wants, and she wants to do a podcast with her buddy. That's cool." And then Seth goes, yeah, all 400 listeners that they have. And that stung bad. And I was trying to figure out why that stung, because it is like, I can't go, that's not true. That's a little bit more than that, Seth. And granted, not much, but it's a little bit more than that. But I can't, like, the numbers are there. Like, you see
you can't dispute the analytics.
I can't dispute it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why does this sting so bad? Because it's a real criticism. Now, I've heard that from civilians or whatever. And I go, yeah, you're not even in the game. You don't count.
Yeah.
But when you hear somebody of some relevance say it does sting. And I'll say this. It's not from lack of trying. It is hard. It is hard to get people to subscribe, to tune in, to, pay attention to things that you're doing there. And now I don't have my radio thing. Oh, I do my Saturday thing, but that don't count. I don't have my radio show. I was on one of the most popular, probably the most popular radio station, Tampa Bay, anyways, for many years.
Now I can shake my head yes to that. I couldn't a couple months ago.
But I was on at the worst time that you could possibly be on.
Yeah, not great.
So you don't get to build, like, it's not like the morning or the afternoon drive where you kind of get to, like, people get to know you. You have, like, your same folks that kind of are around.
Sure.
And I think, like, it's like 1 million or something, the cume in the morning. And it's a lot, all throughout the day. And then when people go home, at night, they tend not to be listening to the radio. Some are, if you work nights, and God bless you. And, I talked to many of you, and it was a great time. But the listenership is like somewhere around, and I don't know, I've heard different things, but probably, what would you say, like, the cume is, meaning the amount of listenership that you're getting at night on the bone?
What they told us?
Yeah.
If I were to take a guess, I'd probably say, like, any given night, I'd probably say around maybe 1,000, maybe 2.
That's what I was thinking too. So it's not.
And that's a complete guess. I don't know. By the way,
it's not a lot. So having 400 with the presence I've had that's about right. And it's not a wrong criticism. It's true. I'm humiliated that we only have 400.
Can I share the blame here? For the first 4 years what's even funnier is that they're saying that this is like a new podcast. We've been doing this since 2020.
I know.
Or at least I've been doing this with you since 2020.
Yeah, I've been doing it a long time, brother.
Yeah, I know that. But to share the responsibility, accountability, and the blame, which I'm used to, I didn't put in pretty much any effort into this until very recently. I mean, I would show up when you would ask me, sometimes late, but I would show up.
Right.
We would do a show.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good about that. I wouldn't cancel on you last minute. If I needed to rearrange something, you would accommodate me, and I appreciate that.
Right.
But for the most part, I was putting in no more than the time I was on the air. And I feel like now, because I have a little more time on my hands, I'm a bit more motivated to get more content out on this channel with you and solo. So, I will share in the blame.
It is partially your fault. And I don't think you were allowed to tell people on your big show that you were doing this extra thing. I mean,
didn't even ask because it's just
you
like,
could have asked. I mean, hey,
don't listen, Will. In that situation I was in with my last job, you had to pick your battles very carefully about what you wanted to ask for and not ask for and just handle.
I get it.
So when I asked if I could do the show with you back in 2020, or maybe I told him I was already doing a show with you, whatever the case was, he was super cool about it. He's like, yeah, whatever. It was no threat to him, so he didn't mind.
It's not. No,
so we continued on, but I mean, I'm not very active on social media as it is.
Right.
But I also made it a point to, if I was going to repost anything, it was going to be from the show I was on, the main show, the one that was paying me, and that's fair.
I understand. I paid you dozens of dollars over the years.
Well, the listeners, I appreciate. Listen, I'm here now, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. But so, I mean, I was thinking why that stung so bad, because it's not like a criticism that I haven't heard, and it's true.
It's true. That's why it hurts.
I can't. No, that's not why.
That's not why.
Because I don't mind when some idiot, online says it, because you're just not. It doesn't matter.
Because you value what he thinks. That's why.
No, it's not even that.
Well,
I shouldn't say it hurt my feelings. It bothered me that he said
lots of things bother you, Will.
Lots of things bother me.
Lots of things, but you're a petty man, and I'm a petty woman, so I get it. But
I think I figured it out.
Okay,
I think I figured out why it bothered me so much that he said it, because it's not false. It is true. However, I know that Seth, and I've only met Seth a handful of times. He did this podcast many years ago, before I was even on the Bone. And I've talked to him maybe once or twice, when he was at the Bone. Pleasant man. I have nothing really bad to say about him till now.
Oh no!
Because he bugs me, because he made that sly comment, which obviously is a jab at you, and I think I got the crossfire from it, really, but it's more of a jab to you that you're on now this piddly platform. Seth, what has Seth done exactly?
I don't want to get dragged into this.
What has he done? But he's the podcasting guy, right? Like, he believes in podcasts. What podcast does he do?
Bubba's podcast. I don't know. He did stuff at WDA. I don't really know too much.
But it's all been
there's that.
It's all been somebody else's thing. Like, the success that he's had from podcasting and being on a big show has been someone else's thing that's already been successful, and then he jumps on and adds it. I'm sure he's good at his job. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
Sure.
Like, I think it bugs me because he's never done anything by himself. So he doesn't understand how hard it is to actually try to build something. He's just already there and moving. He's with Bubba now, who's obviously had a great career, at least for a long time he did in radio. And now he's doing the podcasting thing. And, Rhett's there doing his YouTube thing. Rhett's really good at his job too with YouTube. I'm boomered out. I don't know how to do this stuff, but it bugged me because I know he did that one thing. I remember he was trying to do the sports thing, and I watched some of his clips, and it just failed miserably.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of humility to kind of, you're already on the air. I'm speaking about you and I, but you're already on the air, and then you're doing something, trying to start from scratch. And I know other people close to us, or maybe used to be close to us, they don't want to start anything because at the beginning you start with 0 subsubscribers. And that's hard to come to the table with 0 subscribers. It's hard. And should the numbers be better? Yeah, sure, why not? But
they're not.
They're not.
I mean,
and I think what it is that you think Seth has credibility, which he does. He's been in the industry for quite some time, and he made a comment about it. And also, not that it was just true, which maybe it somewhat is, but the intention was like to hurt your feelings or hurt my feelings.
Hurt your feelings, probably. I don't think
I have no more feelings, so we're fine. if that was the worst thing that anyone said about me the last 6 weeks, I'd be doing great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my life took a turn, so stay tuned for the bonus episode.
But I think, I think most of the credit to the online success of your former employer is Rhett. I think Rhett's really the one who seemed to be doing the work and the heavy lifting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if Rhett would have said that, like, Rhett and I are friendly. I mean, I knew him when he worked at the radio station. And I thought we had him in on, Johnny B and stuff. And I always liked Rhett. And we're cool. If he would have said that, it would have hurt my feelings. But at least, like, I've checked out his podcast, and he's got like a few thousand subscribers. He's doing pretty good. Does he get to promote on Bubba's thing?
I was not on social media seeing what he was posting.
Okay, but did he get to say, hey?
Occasionally, like, ask him about it, or I've heard him say, like, "Oh, Brett, you have your podcast about the Buccaneers. Okay. It's Cannon Fire, right? Podcast."
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe he did.
Yeah. All right. So
Bubba also had like kind of a bone to pick with you because you worked at the Bone as well. So there was that.
Sorry. What do you want me to do?
No. But you have to understand that, like, it was somewhat different from Rhett's situation, where it was just like a completely separate, where I was working with you and you're, in cahoots with Mike Calta in his mind. So I had to just listen. Nothing makes sense, but I just had to tread lightly on this.
That's the thing. That was annoying too, because I got a lot of blowback. Mike was mad at me. All of a sudden, I'm getting Bubba Army Will. I'm like, I've never,
Bubba Army
dude.
Will. That might be better than Racist Will, which is what you're rolling with now.
Yeah, that's going to be my thing on the bonus episode. Good Lord Almighty!
I know what that feels like, because I too was accused of the same thing right before I was terminated. So,
it's insane. Like, I got my own stuff going on. I don't have time to be in other people's business, pick sides in battles that have nothing to do with me. I don't, I just want to do my thing. That's all.
We couldn't help that our daddies hated each other.
Oh my God. It was
a decades deep rivalry, we couldn't help that our daddies hated each other, and we kind of had to work around it, and we did. And now I feel like, we're finally free. It's like being gay in the 80s. We can come out of the closet and say we have AIDS and we have rights, and respect me.
Yeah. That was a good segue to get into the actual show content here. But anyway, Seth, you haven't done anything in podcasting, so that's why it bothered me that you said that. So go start your own thing and see how hard it is. Don't just join other people's already successful things. Okay. Thank you. Let's get gay. Let's gay it up, brothers and sisters out there. It is Pride Month. We are continuing on.
Oh, it's deep in Pride Month.
Oh,
it's so deep. It's almost Juneteenth, folks.
Can you say this? I don't know if I could say this.
What?
Are we balls?
What?
Balls,
deep?
She said it, not me. In the Pride Month. And things are going great. As you can see, things are going great. Everybody's having a good time. They're riding scooters. Over pride flags. The pride flags that are on the street where cars and people walk, and, scooters might ride. Did you hear about this story, Anna?
I did, yes.
Washington teens face 10 years in prison for leaving skid marks on an LGBTQ Rainbow Road mural. It's a felony to deface a public symbol of pride in Washington state. So the flag is a political symbol now, right?
So what if it was an American flag with the same punishments?
Well, you can't do that. Like, you don't put you can't even have if an American flag touches the ground, you have to ceremoniously burn it. You have to fold it.
If you like chalk it up, do you do like a chalk?
If you recall, last week there was a storming of not the Capitol, but of the White House, where a bunch of protesters vandalized, public monuments in the park, American symbols. And oh God, here come the cat. Oh boy, the cats are here. Hi, June. So there was literally people spray painting, murals in Washington D.C. Nothing. I don't think there's any arrests from that whatsoever.
What were they painting?
Free
These
Palestine.
Artists. Oh, these artists were
Not artists.
they're not artists?
No. I mean, maybe some of them consider themselves artists.
Activist artists.
Activist artists, same, double A-ing it up. But no, nothing happened to them. But these young men were riding their scooters. Ruslan Turco, 19, and 2 unnamed minors were arrested and charged with first-degree malicious mischief on Wednesday for leaving marks in the street on a pride flag.
Oh.
On Wednesday, people who witnessed the teens riding their scooters called 911 to report it. Kylie Gaines McGee, a witness sitting at O'Doherty's Irish Grill, allegedly saw the malicious scooter riding and told KREM that she believed the teens were intentionally trying to deface the mural that was in the street. Why are we putting the murals on the street? Why are they on the street? People ride cars.
You're asking me like I know. I don't know.
I know why. So they could put people in jail if you dare to face the sacred flag. $15,000 bond that would cover the approximate cost of repainting the mural so someone else can go do it, and then they can scam some more money out of people. Under the legislation signed by Governor Jay Inslee, defacement of public property may fall under the state. It's a road. It is a road. I saw the video. Did you see the video of the kids doing it? Oh,
no.
It's not in the story, unfortunately. But they were kind of riding around, and they were next to a park, and then they were going up into the park and kind of doing the same things. But someone said that they felt like it was intentional. I don't think there's any proof of that.
I mean, are you really trying to deface it if you're just riding over it because it's in the road?
Well, that's the point.
Yeah, right.
Like, what are you supposed to do
for its utility? It's used as a road. I'm sorry that you put a rainbow on a road.
You're painting the thing in the road.
Right.
I thought I put it in one of the prep things. There was some. I guess it's not in there.
It's okay. You need a producer.
I do.
That's why we only have 400.
That's why we have 400 followers. See, that's right again. Doing a bad job at my job.
Shame.
Yeah. I mean, so that's unfortunate. And an update. The scooters that you ride. Yeah. Oh, there's the kids right there. They're kind of doing their things over the intersection. And they're right next to a park. Yeah. The Lime scooters will shut down now. You know the St. Petersburg Pier.
I understand the GPS kicks in.
You can shut them down, so they will protect the monument and not.
Which is just what? It's just chalk.
No, I think it's paint.
It's paint. Okay,
it's paint.
So it should be pretty durable, right? But let me ask you this: are you allowed to drive a car over that?
Yeah,
but not a scooter.
Well, they had one in St. Pete too, and somebody did donuts on it
because it was on the roundabout, right? Or close
no,
to it?
It looked like now you would think that you would have to prove that it wasn't just some drunk guy and there happened to be the pride flag there at that intersection. You would have to prove that he maliciously said, I'm going to the pride flag that's on the road and I'm going to do donuts on it and scuff it up. But it's also, if I were the judge anyways, and I'm not, I don't have a law degree. I know that shocks some people out there. But I think my thing would be like, well, maybe let's not put it on the road.
Yeah.
I just can't get over the road.
Maybe just put it on the side of a building or something, like a mural on a building, which is usually where they live. I see murals on buildings all the time. That's where they should live. And they're probably more protected because you don't have cars going over the buildings.
You don't have cars going over the buildings.
So they're just left alone just to the elements. Maybe you got to worry about a hurricane or something. But other than that, they should be good to go.
Let's listen to this. Let's see if this makes it through.
Sure.
Do I have this pulled up? I'm doing a bad job again. Okay, there it is. It's in the screen, so we should be able to hear it here.
I just saw this group of teenagers deliberately making marks and scratch marks with their Lime scooters, just all around.
Several witnesses confronted them.
But she's saying she knows that's the fact. They're doing it maliciously. But how does she know? I feel like she has a gut feeling.
Because she has a chest tattoo.
Could have something to do with it.
Group and called police.
We're not going to sit by as we watch people deliberately commit a hate crime, right in the middle of downtown.
After looking at security footage, officers arrested 3 teenagers. 2 are minors, and 1 is 19-year-old Ruslan Turco.
You are charged with 1 count malicious mischief.
Turco had his first appearance in court this afternoon. The judge released him under the condition he doesn't go near the crosswalk or the other teenagers. Prosecutors, though, had asked the judge to set a $15,000 bond since that's how much it costs to repaint the mural.
The community really came together to raise the money for them.
I could do that for way cheaper. 15 G's to paint the mural?
Yeah, I don't know what painting murals.
I'll do it
goes
for
these
$500
days.
bucks. I'll do a really good job. Well, not actually, no, I'm not going to do it for $500 bucks, but if somebody would.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to do it
Someone
for $500
might even do it
bucks.
for free. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Pro
God,
bono
that's
work.
the thing. Getting
That's
the community in there. Oh.
To be able to do it before the parade on Saturday.
Now this vandalism just hours after that repaint and only a few weeks after someone else set fire to the mural.
Okay, so setting fire.
How do you set fire to a mural that's painted on the ground?
Well, look. I mean, look right there. You can see it. You see the track marks on there?
Yeah. From
So
the
it
cars,
rains.
the cars.
And so they're in from the cars.
Yeah.
So you're in Seattle or wherever. Is this in Seattle, right? Spokane. It's rainy there. It's going to get muddy. And now look, there's freaking track marks
Yeah.
all over the. Don't put it in the road.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Are you
Will.
insane?
Yeah.
Sucks to be reminded in moments like this that there are still people out there that, have hate in their hearts for other people. So, yeah.
But Kaylee
Oh, I have a feeling she has a lot of hate in her heart.
Yeah.
If somebody has a red hat on, oh man, I have a feeling she has a burning hate in her heart.
wants everyone to know the love outweighs the hate here on Howard and through the entire city.
Wait, hold on. I think we can see the faint black marks on the street.
So so we saw the ones from the car that were really thick and dark, right?
Yeah.
This is it?
That looks like a hate crime to me, Will. I don't know where you come from.
Jeez, where are we
But
at now, man?
where I come from, that's a hate crime.
Oh, here it is. Do you think this guy's gay just by looking at him? Adam Schwanger? Schwanger? Schwang?
Can you read?
No. This is them. All right. I mean, you're just at the park. Look, they're riding back there too. What is going
I
on?
think that might be a hate crime, Will.
What is going
Trying to
on?
get a mild amount of exercise outside is abysmal. So,
And they put it right in front of the park too. So there's people using the scooters, walking, driving by, riding bicycles. And if you dare have to stop quick, if somebody goes out and you leave a skid mark on there,
yeah.
and what's her name sees it, you got hate in your heart, and you're going to prison, and you're gonna burn. This world is not good.
No,
It's
no,
not
it's not.
good. I don't even know.
Someone from Clearwater. What does that say? Did you X out of it?
Where is it? Oh,
Washington. Oh, yeah, there. In February, a 19-year-old from Clearwater was arrested.
Oh, yeah. I remember this. He was arrested after being caught on video doing burnouts on Delray Beach. He turned himself into the Delray Beach Police Department. He was charged with felony criminal mischief. And I heard, all right, so DeSantis was just like, you can't drive like an a-hole.
Yeah. Just
We
the
gotta
fact that it
find you for
happened to
that.
be on a Pride crosswalk, I think, is besides
Didn't
the point.
matter.
Yeah.
Thank God we live in Florida. Well, St. Pete had something similar happen. I just brought this up, didn't I? I just didn't finish my thought.
What?
There was a new one in downtown St. Pete, and somebody did
The
burnouts on it
Yeah. You said that.
last week. And they're like, there's a big, massive manhunt underway.
On
For the person who
what
did
kind
it.
of car was it?
I don't know. It's TBD.
Okay.
That's really all I can say. Happy Pride, everybody.
Yeah.
That's really all we can say about it.
I feel like we got a lot more people in chat than we usually do. People are
We do.
fired up. I don't know why. It's like they're waiting for some stuff to spill.
I don't know.
But
I don't
stay
know.
tuned because we'll get to it soon.
I think
shortly enough.
we might as well cut the audio
Cut the
only
stream?
people
Let's
loose.
do it. Let's get down to it.
So we're gonna bid adieu right now to Radio St. Pete folks and to audio only podcast. Whoops, there I go. I took myself out here. Let me there we go. All right. So we're gonna say goodbye to Radio St. Pete. We're gonna say goodbye to HMB Radio podcast listeners. If you'd like to get the extra content uncensored, you can listen to willsyoutube.com and join the Substack, because I think I'll put the entire file up on Substack and it'll be free for now. And then I'll charge, like $1 or is $5 too much?
You're
for a
asking
month,
Jew, so
that might be a little much.
yeah.
What about $3
That might be manageable. I'm also, not only am I a Jew, but I am an unemployed Jew. So that's pretty stiff. But maybe the people have more money than I
What
do.
percentage of our 400 listeners that Seth Kushner says are going to join Substack? What other benefits could we offer? What about like some one-on-one, like a hangout where you get everybody in a Zoom, like once a month,
A Zoom?
like a happy hour Zoom, and then we just kind of hang
Maybe we
out
should
with
discuss
Joe.
this off the air.
Okay, we'll do that. So Radio St. Pete, goodbye to you. Have a great one. Thanks for listening, and audio only. Thank you so much. WillsYouTube.com if you want to hear uncensored content, or Rumble. It will be free there. So we'll just do a quick interlude. Da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba. And we're back, uncensored. Fuck yeah! Oh, that feels weird.
Okay, so we're good.
We're good
I didn't
now.
know if you were gonna do some doodads and some button pushing.
Nope,
So
that was it.
I can say fuck.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, thank God. It feels good.
Feels
It's
pretty
very
good.
hard to censor myself. I think I told you I did some stuff for Radio St. Pete.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to use the word ass. So I used the word caboose and it felt weird.
I think I've used ass on what about if you're talking
not
about a donkey?
supposed to. Maybe. But listen, it was my first day on the job. I didn't want to start, pushing boundaries. That's not really when you test boundaries is on day one of your new gig. So I was like, I'm gonna just follow the rules and say thank you very much. And also, you know where the studio is for Radio St. Pete?
I don't actually know.
Well, I mean, you know where it is for Radio St. Pete. The studio, like that. You haven't been there, but you know. If I started screaming maybe the F word and not fuck in that, I didn't want to attract attention because you can hear it's not a soundproof room. So I just wanted to keep it nice and clean for everyone in the vicinity because they got a lot of them rainbow flags. A lot of them rainbow flags. And not just the rainbow flags, but they started adding things. The triangle that comes in with the pink and the blue and the brown and the black. Basically anyone that's doesn't look like Will is represented on that flag.
It looks I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed that new flag looks a lot like the Palestinian flag. It has the same shape.
Characteristics.
Same shape.
Yeah. I think
the
I think the queer Palestinians are also on the flag. They're because they could be, gay and also brown, so they are covered on every aspect of that flag.
Yeah. It's interesting though. I think it was an intentional design. There's something about just it's a political symbol, as we just learned in the earlier segment of the show.
The Palestinians really haven't been hot until very recently. Like no one was really talking about it too much until October 7th, and then it got hot, then it got trendy.
Yeah.
So and the trans flag, gay flag, the pride flag has been around for quite some time. So.
Yeah, but I feel like the new one with the triangle in it, with the black and brown and white, is new. The rainbow flag.
No, I know.
Has been around
I'm talking about the one with the trans triangle.
The trans triangle.
That was around well before I went to Pride in 2022, and I'm going to Pride again this year, and I'm very excited about it.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I feel like it's almost like EDC, where I'm like, am I too old for Pride? But I want to go. I want to see the debauchery. I want to see just the degradation of society. Before me.
Oh, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be really bad.
It seems like they're keeping
really good.
up. Yeah. Well, there's gonna be like the St. Pete have like ding dongs hanging out. And,
yeah.
They do.
When I went in 2022 to the main Pride Festival, there were definitely balls. There were men in thongs, maybe barely covering their junk. And what was great is that you would see that, and then you would turn your head a little to the left and you would see like a family with their toddler.
So strange, man.
So then I'd be like,
so weird.
Well, that's interesting. But then of course, as soon as you decide, if you have a thought as a non-parent about how people maybe should or shouldn't parent, you're completely blasted online because you're not allowed to have opinions on parenting and child rearing if you yourself don't have children. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those weird things, where as soon as you have a child, you're somehow qualified to have a child. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like as soon as you have a kid, you're like, well, I have a kid, so I'm qualified to have one and raise it. So don't tell me shit.
Mhm.
And me not having a child, I'm like, maybe you shouldn't take your 18-month-old to see a bunch of dicks and balls. You know, maybe they should stay home and watch Bluey, but then I'm the one, you know, they come after me and they go, you don't have a kid, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is weird. I don't understand the kids thing at the I don't think your penis should be out on a public street though. I mean, I feel like that's where I draw the line. I mean, I used to think like even boobs. Like boobs are, who cares?
boobs are great.
They're great. But also, am I a prude to say that I don't think you should be like Gasparilla? They'll arrest you now if you flash your boobs at Gasparilla. But if you're at Pride and you got your balls out, it's just like, well,
Yeah,
that's
well,
fine.
then you are a
It's protected
homophobe.
class. Yeah, well, there's
So-
protected classes
Yeah,
here,
I mean,
as
we
we're learning.
knew this. We knew this.
But they're also at the same time claiming to be victims too
Of
of
course.
society.
I mean,
even though that they can do whatever they want, there's no repercussions at all.
it's a beautiful way to think, and I wish I could think that way, but unfortunately, Will, I am a well-adjusted adult. Well, kind of. I take responsibility for things, and that's a great segue into what we've promised the people that we were going to talk about.
Yeah, so I have some radio beef, and obviously you've had your stuff. So I think you should start. 'Cause I think that's what
should
everybody's
start as
here
well.
for.
Yeah. God, where does one even begin? So I have been I laid low. I laid very low after everything happened. And by everything, for those that don't know, I used to be on the Bubba Love Sponge show. I was on there for 4 years. I was terminated in April. I think I can say that. Last year, I did sign an NDA, and it came to my attention, Will, that apparently I can just throw that in the trash. Not that I have a copy of it, which was stupid. I should have done that. But it doesn't matter anymore. And it's really funny because people will reach out to me, people listen to the Bubba show, and they go, I'm sure you already know, because I'm sure you're an avid listener of the show. They're like, Bubba said that you can just throw that NDA in the trash and it doesn't matter. And my response to that was, do you think I'm fucking retarded? Just because you say you can throw the NDA in the trash doesn't make it null and void. I still signed a legal document, and I have a feeling that if I started saying things that maybe things he didn't know that I knew, and I started blasting that all over social media, he might come for me. He might come for me.
I mean, it seems like you would have the legal document there to back up the
right.
yeah.
So I hate to say like we kind of clickbaited the people, but guys, I ain't saying shit. I'm still contracted by law by something that I signed saying I'm not going to talk about anything that happened in the operation, and I'm not going to do that. You know, I signed a legal document. There are a few things I feel like I can address. As far as my firing, because there was a lot of speculation. First off, let me go back a little bit. I haven't listened to 1 minute of the Bubba Love Sponge show since I was fired. I haven't listened to 1 minute. People will call me or text me. Some people in, let's just say, maybe in inner circle, maybe those are the phrases I should be. These people, I'm just saying that, you know, be careful who you say things to, because things are getting to me. So, you know, hold your friends closer than your enemies, I suppose. But what I wanted to say is that as far as my firing, I remember a few people were saying, I think it was Buzzard Bob, Ass Eater Buzzard Bob, who holds. Do you know who that is? Okay. Well, apparently he likes eating ass. But when everything was going down and my world was crumbling before my eyes, people reached out to me, not just Buzzard Bob, not just Ass Eater Buzzard Bob, but many people. And they were just like, Anna, what say you? What say you, Hummel? Talk. And then, you know, they were trying
Your
to say,
silence is definite.
Right. They're just like, you're guilty. You don't want to see her. You're afraid. And I'm like, listen, idiots. I signed documents saying that I can't and won't say anything. And I mean, I suppose I could break them, but as of right now, I don't really have money to be sued, and I'm not really in the mood to be sued. So I shut my mouth, which at first was, it was really frustrating because I wanted to talk. I wanted to say the things. I wanted to speak my truth. And I was really upset that I couldn't. And then I started to become actually very grateful for the fact that I couldn't say anything because it forced me to move on faster. But anyways, we'll fast forward to maybe it was Monday. Who knows? I get notified from several people who still listen to the show, and God bless them. Like, I got no hate for anybody in my heart, and we'll get to that as well. And they're just like, I'm sure you already heard when you were listening to the show. And I'm like, no, I don't listen to the show. When someone breaks up with you, you don't keep watching their social media. You lick your wounds and you move on. You know what I mean? I've broken up with people. When you end a relationship, you don't continue to watch the show. You don't continue to watch their lives. I didn't want to go and continue watching and see how well they were doing without me. Doing just fine without me, you know. But I was told by several people that I guess Bubba said that not to worry about the NDA. Not sure. Doesn't matter. So, you know, I kind of had to run with it, folks. I gotta get you to drag you over here because we got to get more than 400 followers.
Yeah, come on, man.
So,
come on, guys.
Will has been begging me to post on social media because it really is dumb not to capitalize on a situation when people are interested in some drama, into some, you know, personalities that they've been following for some time. They want to hear the other side of the story. And unfortunately for you all, I still signed a legal document. I don't want to get baited into talking about something and then turns out, whoops, you violated an NDA. We're taking you to court, bitch. Because guess how many lawyers I have in my corner, Will?
I'm going to guess 0.
That's
which
correct.
Is weird for a Jew because they tend to have, you know, at least some in the family.
Yeah, you have some maybe in the family, but they're, you know, out of state, you know. So Bubba has a team of lawyers behind him, and I get their allegiances to him as it should be. So listen, I ain't trying to fuck with nobody's shit, but I'm just trying to move on from my life, okay? And I really have no hate in my heart for anybody there, Bubba included, by the way. Some horrendous things were said about me, about people I am associated with. I think, you know, I ain't talking about that, folks. I ain't talking about that one bit. Because if I brought to the table what I know to be true, that would violate the NDA. Okay. And I'm sure I understand videos were played and things, but sometimes you can omit facts that maybe help.
Well, it really helps.
The story.
I will say this. I don't mean to interrupt you. This is your thing.
No,
but when you have legal binding documents that, you know, gag somebody from saying anything, and you can just put out whatever, you know, evidence that you have, it looks really good. It looks like a slam dunk case here.
Right.
You know, and I know he's saying, well, you could just throw it out. Well, why did he make you sign it to begin with?
Yeah, that makes no sense. And it wasn't like, could you please maybe sign this? It was like, I was getting the impression if I didn't sign it, my ass was out the door.
Yeah.
So I was happy to sign it.
I heard that somebody said, oh, it's very common in the business to sign NDAs. I've been working at a radio station for 7 years. I've never signed an NDA there.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like my situation was like a family-owned business, I guess, where I worked.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I don't necessarily blame him for doing
no,
that
it was
either.
a smart move.
It was a smart move.
It was certainly.
In fact, you're going to sign an NDA when we get up there.
I should have signed it the day I was hired. Like, it was absolutely the move. Things happened there and everywhere, not just, you know, at the BRN, but anywhere. Things happen that you kind of want to keep in-house or under wraps. And I'm privy to a lot of shit, Will. I'm privy to a lot of shit that people may or may not know about. So, you know, it's easy to say, well, they don't really have anything on me. It's like, yeah, but you don't know what the fuck I know. And unlike other people, let's say Bubba, I'm very forward thinking and I don't live in the past, because if I've learned anything from Bubba, it truly is, and I mean this with every molecule of my body, it's how not to live a life. It was a perfect example. Listen, guys, and I think I can insult the man. I don't think that's violating the NDA. I think I could talk shit for a second. But I've never met someone so old with such little wisdom. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Not that he's it's so old, but I'm just saying, usually when you acquire years under your belt, unfortunately, you get the wrinkles, you get the stiff joints, maybe you get cancer, maybe you get diabetes type 2. But usually you acquire some wisdom along the way about how to live a life, about to focus in on what's important. And most of the time when you talk to people, it seems to take a turn where it's like, what's important are the people around you, being healthy, being grateful, things like that seem to, the trajectory goes up on importance in people's lives. When you're early 20s, you're invincible. You're going to live for fucking ever. You don't care. But as you get older, you start to appreciate things like your health and coffee with a friend and, just like the smaller, simpler things you tend to savor. Not him. So, I remember over the course of 4 years, everyone that knew him, maybe even his family, just certainly friends, have tried to tell him, like, you got to let the Calta shit go. You got to let the sex tape, you got to let it go. And Bubba would say, but as a man, Dan, tell me, would you be able to let this go if this happened to you? I haven't done that in a while. It's kind of rusty, but and everyone would, be like, oh yeah, no, Bubba, you're right, Bubba, because everyone was like fucking scared because he ran that place like fucking, Stalin over there, which is fine. I stayed. I could have left. I didn't. And he'd always be like, but as a man, I'm sorry, I'm an alpha man. I don't know how many alpha men I know that would let other men fuck their wives. That's not really the alpha move, but what do I know? Apparently nothing. So anyways, we would all tell him in so many ways, like, you got to let it go. I remember even Alex Stein would be like, Bubba, being this angry is like taking poison and expecting somebody else to die. I remember him saying that. And I'm like, thank you, Alex. Like, we are trying to tell him that you have to move on. You have to forgive, not because the other person deserves it, but because for your own health and well-being, you got to just let shit go and go, you know what? It happened. I'm okay. I don't have cancer. I can walk. Things are all, I don't live in Bangladesh. I'm not in Rafah. Like, things are okay for me right now. I know your career is not where it was, but like, let's broaden our horizons here for a second and realize that we should be grateful for what we have. But this never occurred to him. So, yeah, I remember when things went down, the Monday after I was fired, and I'll get into that because I think I can talk about that because that was shit outside of the station. That was my own actions, and I'll tell you exactly where I fucking applied, and I think it'll surprise you. But on the eve of that night, so I was waiting Monday morning for the fucking hurricane firing. I was kind of bracing myself. Unfortunately, and I think I told you about this, I got really unfortunate news that a friend of mine from college killed himself. The night before. This is 10 p.m. Sunday evening. I'm bracing myself for the fucking storm Monday morning. And then I learned that, my friend killed himself in a really horrific fashion, by the way. And then I was ready to go to California for the funeral. He wrote in his will, who has a will at 36, wrote in his will that he didn't want a funeral. So it's like you couldn't even grieve properly. So I'm dealing with that, dealing with, Bubba trashing my reputation and talking all this shit. And you guys have to understand that like 75 to 80% of my social network in Florida, my life now currently, was evaporated in a second. Okay. So a lot of friends I had, I don't have. I lost my resident doctor. I lost resident lawyer friends. I go to a different jujitsu gym. I don't think I have a dentist anymore. Like the orbit was not just, it wasn't just me losing my job. The orbit rings kept like getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where I was like, what the fuck is going on? And all of a sudden, 75 to 80% of my social network was just gone. Barely anybody reached out to me. A few people did. I'm not going to throw them up, I'm not going to even thank them because I don't want to get them in trouble. Some people would surprise you who reached out to me, but I don't want to get anybody. I'm not even going to say coworkers, friends, inner circle, counsel. I'm not going to throw anybody on blast because that would get them in fucking trouble because this podcast is going to get back to them.
Probably. I'm probably watching right now. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Thanks, Seth. Next 401 now, baby.
And again, after that first week, I was a wreck. I was a disaster. I talked to you on the phone a few times and in person. Really upset about how everything went down. Embarrassed, humiliated. I didn't have a job. My friend just fucking killed himself. Like it all happened at once. And I was angry, Will. I was very, very angry. And on top of that, I couldn't say anything because I signed an NDA. And I'm still not saying anything. But I signed an NDA and I couldn't even say my piece. I'm hogtied, ball gagged. My friend killed himself. I don't have a job. Everyone hates me. All these friends I built up for the last 4 years won't speak to me. My coworkers, many of them, I'm persona non grata. Don't fucking speak to her. Don't look at her because if you do, then, you're going against the leader. And, it's very Gestapo-ish. But anyways, I was so fucking angry and mad and I'll just say I was having fantasies. I won't elaborate. Not of the sexual variety either. I was having lots of fantasies about stuff. And I remember where I was. I was out on my patio and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm so fucking mad. I'm so fucking mad. I'm so angry. I'm going to do everything. And I went, oh, there's the lesson. We all told Bubba not to hold on to things. You got to let shit go. You can't be angry. You can't want this retribution. And I want to be validated and I want to be, celebrated by the people who I need to get back at my rivals, all those feelings. And it was weird because Bubba would talk about the Hogan sex tape. I don't know, every fucking day.
For the past 20 years.
Yeah, every day. And he would talk about it with the vitriol and the fervor as if it happened the day before. Like 12 years, 13 years had passed. And you'd think, I learned something, I let it go. It is what it is. I was a dumbass for filming, whatever the case may be. Maybe that was my surveillance camera, and then all of a sudden I did whatever. But anyways, the details.
Can I ask you a question about that? Because I think it's clear that tape was stolen from his home. Do you ever address the fact of why he had that tape to begin with?
Of what I know, it wasn't stolen from his home. It was brought to the office, and someone in the office.
Well, who recorded it?
Bubba. He admitted that.
Okay, see, that's the thing. Why do you even have that?
Because people are into geeky shit, Will. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, that seems.
Which is no shade.
Whatever.
Like,
whatever. We're getting off. We're getting off.
And there's nothing wrong with.
I don't care. I really don't care.
Whatever
proclivities, whatever
you're into. But there's nothing wrong with it. Hey, as long as there's no kids and no one's getting raped and everyone's awake, I think we're fine.
Yeah,
I think we're good.
I mean, the good thing about that is it put Gawker out of business, which is phenomenal for culture. But anyway,
but there's still
ahead,
like
please.
TMZ and shit. But
yeah, but
not as bad. They're not as bad. But anyways, it occurred to me in that moment that I too had to let this go. It was so bizarre. I was like, oh, there's the lesson. I'm so angry and I'm so bitter and I want to get back at everybody and just, either by succeeding or just fucking them over, or ruining their life or, all that sort of stuff. And I went, oh, there's the lesson. The lesson is I have to take the advice I gave to somebody else. So I did. I was like, okay, I forgive. And I'm not going to forget also because I have an amazing memory.
Mm-hmm.
Superb. So I can't forget even if I wanted to, but I just let it go. And I really have looked back on my experience at the Bubba Radio Network with like, now it's almost like this nostalgic sort of like, fuck, those were good times. When it was good, it was so good. And when it was bad, it was so bad. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, it was the best job and also the worst job I ever had. Because when it was fun, it was so much fun. Like, so much fucking fun. Just the atmosphere. You walk in, it's like a sex dungeon crossed with Times Square. There's a full bar, remnants of a stripper pole, a shower where the whores would bathe. That's now a storage room.
Yeah.
You know, and then we had the podcasting table in the back and the lights, and it was dark and kind of like a dungeon. It was fucking cool. It was so cool. And Bubba's a funny motherfucker. Like Bubba's was fun.
No doubt.
He is funny man.
No doubt.
So it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. But when it was bad, it was so bad. And here's the thing, it got so bad, folks, that and I'm not even disclosing something that wasn't said publicly, but Bubba on a podcast that I believe he did with Seth, talked about replacing me, talked about getting rid of me, talked about the fact that I didn't bring anything to the table. And to be honest with you, he was right. I didn't bring anything to the table for the last 6 months because every time I fucking said anything, someone would throw a tantrum. So I just kind of shut my mouth, didn't say anything. And people in chat would say like, why are you there? Well, Anna's fucking contributes nothing. She has no value. It's like, and much like you with the Seth comment, I'm like, they're fucking right. Like I don't, but if I try to, then I get shit on. So I was in this kind of like this rock and hard place sort of thing. And so when I heard that podcast, first off, I wept, tears, many of them. And at the end of the podcast, there was like this inside eggy. I haven't said that in a minute. There's this inside eggy little Easter egg that said like, Anna, if you're listening to this, come have a private conversation with me. And by the way, the day that was supposed to be posted, Seth posted the wrong podcast. So I listened to the wrong podcast. And the next day, Bubba goes, Anna, did you listen to the podcast? And I go, yep. And I didn't go up to him because I listened to the wrong podcast.
Is Seth a mastermind?
So
and did it on purpose?
No, I think he's just whatever. He messed up. So and a bunch of people in the chat were saying like, you posted the wrong podcast. You posted the wrong podcast. So I was like, fuck, I listened to the wrong one. Then I listened to the right one that day. And that's when I wept. And that's when I went, oh, now I get why he asked me, Anna, did you listen to the podcast? Because at the last 30 seconds, he goes, Anna, if you're listening to this, come talk to me. We got problems. So the next morning I walk in, probably at like 5:28 a.m. before everybody else walked in. And I go, Bubba, I want to talk to you after the show. And he said, great. Awesome. He was super cool. So we talked to him and I one-on-one. And I go, listen, like you said, you're looking to actively replace me. No, that's just a rib. I don't mean it. So in my mind, I'm like, he might be lying. He's lied before. There's a chance he might be lying. So and I'm also pretty good at reading body language. You know, I'm looking at him up and down. He's looking everywhere but my fucking face. That's because you're ugly, you dumb bitch. Possibly. But he's not giving me, I'm looking at him dead in his fucking face, and he's just like looking around. He doesn't want to face me. I could see he's twiddling his thumb. I go, everything about this is telling me that he's looking to replace me. He might be lying, or maybe he's just uncomfortable because I'm very intense when I want to be, and I'll look at you like right in your face, and I'm very attentive. And I think that can just make people uncomfortable. So that could have been it. But either way, I was like, you know what, Anna? I think it's time that you start looking for a new job. I know, betrayal. I know, I'm basically Spice Boy 2.0, which is what I was called. But I was looking for jobs in the state and outside of the state, but mostly I would like to stay in Florida. I like it here, especially, you know, the Tampa Bay area. Now, mind you, I've been fired from 2 places in the same market. So I understand that I didn't have a lot of options left. So I was willing to look outside of the Tampa Bay area, which is what I did. Saw a job on LinkedIn. Maybe you're familiar.
No.
Saw a job on LinkedIn.
What words are you saying?
there was a job listing on LinkedIn.
Saw a job. I thought you were talking about a person on LinkedIn.
No,
So you saw a job.
I saw a listing.
A listing for a position.
A listing for a position.
A paid position.
A paid position. And I did see a few things on social media, people commenting about where this job was. It was in Orlando. It was in Tampa. It was in fucking Fort Walton Beach, buddies. Who the fuck wants to go to Fort Walton Beach? Not me.
I did.
Well,
I did.
I didn't want to go there. I didn't want the fucking job. I didn't want the job. Not even a little bit. Okay. Not even, they played music, this, that, and the other. I found out that the reason why there was an opening in radio, which there rarely is because the resident co-host fucking died. He died. And I was like, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard. But anyways, so I applied for this job. It was sitting on my laptop for maybe about a week and a half because I was like, I don't want this job. But as things progressively got worse at work, I go, Anna, you need to stop being so picky and you need to start applying to anything and everything and then maybe say no later on if it's not right. But you need to have more options and, opportunities at least at your hands so that you can play those cards. You're never going to be able to play those cards if you don't play the game.
Yeah.
So I applied for this job at Fort Walton Beach. Didn't want it. And for those that are not unfamiliar with LinkedIn, which is probably the people that received the application, there is a question that says, can we contact your current employer? And guess what I selected, Will?
I'm going to guess no.
I said no.
Yeah.
I said, no, please don't call my boss. This might piss him off a bit, seeing as how everything pisses him off. So, I said, please don't contact my boss. And I applied. It was a cold application. It wasn't like I was talking to the PD, which I later did. I interviewed for it. We'll get to that. It wasn't like I was talking to the PD and like really trying to, it's going to happen. It was literally like, should I apply? Fucking upload resume, fucking send. If they would have asked for a cover letter, I would have deleted it. That's how little I cared about this job. If they would have asked for like 1 ounce more effort than uploading a resume, I would have been like, fuck this shit. But I said, whatever. It's in Fort Walton Beach. Who cares? Who? It's what is it? It's probably the 1010th market in the United States. It's a non-factor in the bubble world. We're number one, is what I was told. Well, when I did a little bit more investigation into the ratings, guess what? I may have been lied to about the ratings, Will. I may have been lied to. We may not have been number one. Apparently, we were not. I know that we were told that by some people, but guess what? I actually did some deep diving. Turns out, I don't even think we were in the top 10. But anyways, that's beside the point. Didn't want the job. 24 hours later, I get a call from Mr. Sponge himself. And he goes, is there something you want to tell me? And I said, well, in my head, I said, not with that attitude.
You should have said, I signed an NDA. I don't know. I can't legally speak on that.
I go, no. And then he's like, I'm going to ask you again. I'm like, okay. He's like, is there something that you want to tell me? Maybe he played this on the show. I don't fucking know. I know he recorded the call. I go, no. And he goes, did you apply for a job at Fort Walton Beach? And I'm like, yeah. And he was just like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was just like, well, they're a competitor of ours. I think he compared me to Spice Boy. I remember hearing the word Spice Boy.
Let me ask you this. How many markets does that show air on?
Bubba's?
Yeah.
Affiliates, maybe 6, 7. Maybe people in chat probably know more than me. But I think 6, 7. One of them is Fort Walton Beach. So, then he asked me, do you want to resign? Do you want to get fired? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I gave the wrong answer, of course. But yeah, I mean, I was fired. I didn't choose to leave. So that's what actually happened. So I'm glad to get that out there. And that really is nothing behind the scenes of the operation. I am able to talk about my life outside of the Bubba Radio Network, and that involved me applying for another job.
Mhm.
Which I think that I don't think he lied about any of that. I think he was pretty honest about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't listen.
Well,
People
I think
talk to me like I listen. They're like, I'm sure you heard. I go, no, I didn't. I didn't hear.
yeah, I remember listening. That was, I guess, the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know if it was other. I mean, that's what he said, if I remember correctly. I also have a shitty memory, so
Well,
could be remembering
I
wrong.
mean, I think I like using this term, but I believe I was Megan Kelly'd. That's what they say. So like you get
Yeah.
fired because you
Looking
of the
for something.
blackface thing.
Yeah, looking for something.
Listen, it wasn't working out for a while. Apparently I told multiple people when Seth came back, I said I'd give myself about 6 months. Like I just had a feeling. I had a feeling that, you know, and I'm not saying this had anything to do with Seth. It was just, you know, you get a feeling. And I just go, I give myself probably about 6 months. I kind of just felt like my days were numbered, and
Yeah.
things progressively got worse after that point for me, you know, whatever. I think that there was not that I think I know, and Bubba was open that he had favorites, and I just wasn't that. I was not the favorite.
Mhm.
Not that I ever was.
For a long time. I
I'd
remember
say
you
about
telling
6
me.
months where it was getting difficult, and I'd get in the doghouse and then just try to claw my way out of the doghouse and then get thrown back in.
Listen, what did I tell you? What did I tell you when you first started working there? I said, I get it. And I remember having a conversation with the program director at the Bone, still there, and he was very hurt that you went over there. And I said, what would you like her to do exactly?
You want me to work at Kawa?
She did. That's that was her. That's your options, man. You
Yeah.
either work, you're just done here in the area. Like, and he got it. He was, I know, but it's just, you know.
I'm sorry I slighted the man that fired me, John Brennan. I'm calling out all these names today, motherfuckers. Yes, of course, I see people in chat. Oh, but on it, like, I got Megan Kelly because obviously there were some other things at play that I'm not going to discuss, because if I brought what I know to the table, there would be legal problems.
Mhm.
But he obviously was upset about my association, relationship, whatever the case may be. And it seemed like he was maybe harboring some ill will towards me, which I understand. But also I don't, because if it was such a problem, then just fire me when you fired him. Why did we do grateful? But by the way, I am grateful for the year I spent afterwards, because I wasn't ready to leave. I wasn't ready. By the time I got fired, I was ready to go, because I was applying for jobs that I fucking didn't want. But
Yeah.
at the time of last year's debacle, I wasn't ready to go. But and people were like, Anna was in on it. If I was at all involved, why didn't Bubba fire me? He didn't fire me.
Mhm.
Why not?
Mhm.
Why not? And listen, I get after some time, maybe he's got Seth. He doesn't, there's less need for me or my voice or my opinion. And
Well, it's convenient for him because all of a sudden there is some money that's been freed up in payroll, and perhaps maybe he can quit Kawa if you were gone.
Sure. I thought you were talking about the Blitz firing or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, when that first happened, Bubba kept me on, obviously, for another year.
Yeah.
And it was weird for the first 6 months. It was actually really strange how well everything was working, because that part of my life was totally private and separate. And then me and Bubba had a very good, cordial working relationship. And then again, not blaming people, it does kind of coincide with the time that Seth came back, but things started getting really bad for me, really, really bad for me. And maybe Bubba had some boiled up anger and animosity towards, Blitz, and was giving it out or putting it out on me, possibly. I don't know why he was fine the first 6 months and all of a sudden he's coming back,
Yeah.
It's becoming a problem. But if it was that big of an issue, and I heard people say, oh, no, I was involved in it, he would have fired me. He didn't. He kept me on. And I think towards the end, he was ready to let this bitch go. And this bitch was trying to leave. I wanted to leave with another job. That was the goal.
I told you, man, you better start looking. When you went over there, I didn't get to
Yeah.
finish my thought.
Sorry.
You better start looking for a job, because if there's one thing I know about that radio program is nobody ever lasts. no, Seth better be looking for another job. Everybody there better be looking for another job because it always comes to an end. Nobody's been there consistently you were there for a long time.
4 years ain't
That's
nothing.
pretty good.
That's strong.
Pretty good on that program. So,
and I was looking a lot sooner than people knew. To be honest with you, I think I started looking like maybe October, November of last year. And again, nothing serious, but you could just feel the writing on the wall that this wasn't a forever job and that it was pretty unstable, and that you walk in not knowing who you're going to meet on the other end of the host mic. Sometimes I could make a joke, for example, about Bubba's weight on Monday, and he would think it was hilarious, and I could make essentially the same joke on Wednesday, meltdown. So I didn't know. It was just really unstable. And again, I also want to be clear that a lot of people were like, you were verbally abused and harassed, whatever the case may be. I treated that well, on the air, especially towards the end? Not really. But here's the thing that I think is lost on most people these days. And it's not on me because it's important to me. And I feel like I'm a person with integrity, but I take 100% responsibility for everything that was said to me or that was done to me, because I chose to stay. Unfortunately, Will, I love radio. Doesn't always love me back. And working with Bubba was like, it was a toxic relationship, right? If you've ever been in one of those, which I've seen mostly secondhand, I really haven't been in any, but it's like when it's good, it's so good. But when it's bad, it's so bad. And when it gets bad, all you think about is like, can't we just get back to the way things used to be?
Yeah.
Like, how did we get here?
Right.
We used to be so good for each other and everything was so amazing. And now it's just so bad. And we can get back to the way we were. So I was really fighting for this relationship, trying to get back to where it used to be. And when I realized that it was never going to go back to where it once was, that's when I really started hustling and looking. And guys, it was more than just looking for a job. I mean, I was talking to people. Whatever. That's all I'll say. Whether it's analysts, strategists, agents, talent advisors, I was really trying to just figure out the business from the back end as well as the talent end, and just see how I could just put my best foot forward to find something that was a bit more stable.
Yeah, it's smart.
But in conclusion, I know this has been a long TED Talk, but no ill will. I really do have a lot of love for the Bubba Army and everything that they gave to me over the last 4 years, whether it was opening packages, which is what apparently they were called, packages. I loved opening the packages. Just the comments, mostly mean, but sometimes nice. People would call in. I would say my greatest accomplishment at the BRN, because there's not much, Will. There's not much. But I think I probably got in the ballpark of 150 to 200 people intermittent fasting.
That's pretty good.
Okay. And I would have people call in, and those were my favorite calls. Okay. I liked it when people were like, Anna, you're amazing. You're funny. You're amazing. You're so smart and beautiful. Well, almost no one said that. But when people would call in and go, because of you, I started intermittent fasting and I've lost 70 pounds, 50 pounds,
wow,
110 pounds. I'm walking. I feel great. And especially on my own show, I was able to really dive deep into, health, fitness, nutrition, all the gay shit I love, and to hear people call in and go, you changed my life, which really they changed their life, but I planted the seed and they gave me, even just an ounce of credit. I was like, fuck, I'm a healthcare hero. I am amazing. I am an essential worker. So with that is all the information that I can really give up. I hope that kind of satisfies your taste buds for some juicy goss.
Oh man, no chance. The chat wants.
I know but honestly, I can't. Just because I said that you could say whatever you want doesn't mean I didn't sign a legal document. I still fucking signed a legal document. And I know that if I said some juicy stuff that he didn't know that I knew, he would be taking my ass to court. So, I really don't want to see Dr. Dan Diaco and Jay Diaco the next time I see him. I really don't want to see them in court. Okay. I like those guys. I got a lot of respect for them. Everybody I worked with, Rhett, Lummy, Macho, Babyface. Big fan of Babyface.
Mm.
Even Seth, I will say this about Seth.
Makes a great cup of coffee.
Makes a great latte. Seth and I had my issues with Seth. Did I trust the man? Not really. He made me, he was really good at like making me feel I was like safe with him. Like we would have one-on-one private conversations about pretty personal stuff, mostly on his end, that he would share with me, and then I feel like he would sometimes like fuck me over because he, with the racist thing and whatever. But there were some issues, there. But I will say this: To Live Jew, which is a show he and I did on Thursdays after the main show. We had our own ancillary show. That was probably my favorite show, in addition to my own. But Seth and I feel like we made beautiful music together. I really did like working with him on a mic. Like he's good, and I felt like I was able to bring out a different side of him. Not quirky sports guy, but like the deeper. He's a thoughtful man.
And as much as I busted his balls today, I think he is a talented guy.
He's very talented.
And
There's no
he's
denying
been
that.
fairly nice to me, although that was a rude comment.
And that's okay. But yeah, Seth and I felt like made beautiful music together. And even Bubba, he consumed such a large portion of my life over the last 4 years. And it's sad that it had to end the way that it did. But honestly, I got nothing but love. And I truly mean that. Not because he fucking deserves it, because he doesn't. But I deserve peace of mind and to move on. And, if they want to take shots at us doing what we're trying our best. I'm now putting a lot more effort into
tough.
this.
It's tough. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Yeah. It's difficult to start, from the ground up, but we're trying our best. And, again, nothing but love. And I look back on my time at the BRN with like a lot of good memories in hand. So thank you guys for listening to my side of the story, or, what I'm willing to tell of it. And yeah, I miss you guys. I really do.
Well,
there are a lot of good people over there.
Yeah, hopefully they'll join us over here. I think there's room for everybody. And, subscribe. And we're live on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. It's always fun. And I don't wear thongs. I don't know where that rumor started, but people in the chat, I do not. Believe me, I don't even think I could. I think if I put a thong on, it would be like a black hole and it would just suck right into my body.
Yeah, you got butt crack issues.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
Every time, like he could have on high-waisted jeans and he'll bend over and you see like 4 inches of his crack. And you're just like, what the fuck? I didn't ask for this.
I know.
Why
I didn't
are your
either.
shorts so short?
I can't. They're not.
Why
I got a long back.
What's going on? I got a long back.
I got a long back, man.
Got a long
I don't know
back.
what to tell you. It's
long
genetic. So I had some beef that I wanted to get to, but we already went so long that I think I'll save it for next week. But
how long did I go?
It was a while. It was like 45 minutes or so.
Sorry about that, guys. But there's a lot. There was a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I just want to say that Dizzy, you're a dead man. I heard what Dizzy said.
Can you do that?
I mean, metaphorically, of course, YouTube.
Specify.
Those of you who don't know, this is Dizzy. He hosts the Mike Calta After Show. I don't know if you're aware of him, but this is a photograph of him. He looks like he's at a lake. And what?
Is that?
No, that's Dizzy.
Oh.
From the Mike Calta After Show.
Can you just, can we not get into what was said?
I mean, I guess we can.
It's fresh, dude. It just fucking happened.
Yeah, if next week it's going to be old news.
These assholes ain't going nowhere. The numbers are going up. They're going up.
All right, we might as well get to it. Freaking Dizzy, man.
Who's Dizzy, by the way?
Dizzy his name is
Sorry,
Gareth.
Dizzy, I know who you are.
His name is Gareth. He works at the radio station. I've never had we talked about it before. He had Johnny B on his podcast, right? And apparently Johnny asked him to be on the podcast, which is so funny because Johnny has a radio show that he could have just talked about, what happened with me and him. But let's be honest, he didn't want phone calls for people to push back.
Sure.
You listened to the episode.
I did. I actually brought it to your attention, if I remember correctly.
You did. And
you might want to listen to this, but maybe while sitting down and after work with a cocktail.
And I said, and you said you're gonna hate Dizzy more than Johnny.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. I mean, we already talked about it once before when it happened, but Dizzy isn't particularly good at radio.
Oh.
So he doesn't really perform well, particularly in an interview setting. Now, I heard, and I guess, I hope I don't get, what do you call it when you get, you play somebody else's content?
Copyright strike?
Yeah, I guess so. So Ian was on with Mike and the gang the other day, and they were talking about there's this fight that's supposedly going to happen. Mike and Spanish are supposedly going to fight.
Yes, I did catch that.
Which is an interesting prospect because Spanish does box.
But he's also like, he's quite small, man.
And he's very small.
Unless he's grown
not very
since
small.
I last
He's not
saw
like
him.
Dizzy small. But
Well,
he
Dizzy is
I think you're taller
exceptionally
than
small.
Dizzy.
By 4 inches.
That's insane. So after the Johnny podcast, I let Dizzy have it because I didn't think he did a very good job at the interview. And
you let him have it on this program.
I let him have it on this program. And I thought it's funny because the reasons that he gives of why he hates me now are the reasons I hate him.
Oof.
I mean, verbatim are
Yeah.
the reasons. So he did this interview and I spoke with Dizzy. We saw each other right after the Johnny B thing happened. And he said, "Hey man, I respect what you did a lot. You know, I don't remember if he said like you were right to do it, but he said, I respect what you did. You had to be a man. You had to do what you had to do." Yeah, you know, that's pretty much what it was. Then went on his interview with Johnny. He's calling me an idiot.
Yes.
For what I did. And I should know my place, and was talking more trash in a harsher way than what Johnny. And I wasn't really mad at Johnny because I expected Johnny to say what he was going to say. It didn't really surprise me. It was interesting to hear. And there was about 15 to 20% of Johnny's things. I was like, okay, I could see what you're talking about. That makes sense.
Sure.
I didn't agree with all of it, but it didn't, Johnny wasn't mean either. He was just wrong about a lot of stuff. Dizzy went with, he's an idiot. And he had that moron chick that's with him that I don't know if she, like I said, I don't know if she has a head injury or English is not her first language, but that dope. I mean, just saying how stupid I was.
A DEI hire?
No.
Or is she maybe someone that Dizzy is trying to fuck or is fucking?
I don't know, man. I really don't know because she doesn't add very much to the program. But Dizzy pissed me off because he was calling me an idiot and saying how stupid I was for doing what I did. That's not what he said to me when I saw him. He said, I respect what you did. So it was a little two-faced, I would say, right?
Mm.
So listen to Dizzy here. And I did trash Dizzy on my program here.
Mike Galto.
Yes.
We have Dizzy joining us.
Dizzy?
Yo,
How you doing, pal?
doing all right. How y'all doing today, man?
I was telling them that you had volunteered to be on the undercard of the Calta Spanish fight.
Oh, 100%.
Now you want to fight Racist Will too?
Okay. Okay. I don't know where this rate. Well, I guess I'm.
We know.
Is that what we're calling him?
Well,
We're titling it now?
That's what Spike called him.
Yeah, racist Will with the glasses.
Yeah.
Him.
Spike's calling me. Is Spike still calling me racist?
He's on Radio St. Pete, I learned.
Yeah, he is. Oh, he was. I don't think he does it anymore. He's too big time now.
Yeah.
With Mo. Spike's always been. Spike's an elephant. He has the IQ of an elephant. I'm sorry. I like Spike. I like hanging out with him, and he's nice whenever. But if he's calling me racist to people,
I thought the racist thing came from a few years
well,
ago.
apparently it's Spike though.
I mean, maybe
it
they just
doesn't
think
matter.
all black people.
He's
are the same.
Spike's an idiot. I don't really care what he says.
Yes.
Why is he racist? Like what?
But why?
Well, I didn't call him racist.
Why do you want to fight him?
I don't like just the way he acts around me and has been kind of two-faced to me.
Oh,
And-
Can you,
I'm two-faced to him.
wait, if we can just pause at what you did. Can you hear like the anger in his voice? He's like
He's shaking a little bit.
really mad at you. Like he's really mad.
See, here's the thing. I'm not even mad. I just think he sucks.
You seem a little mad.
I'm not mad. I just think he sucks.
Okay.
I just don't think he's good at what he does.
Okay.
That's all. And I think he's two-faced.
Well, that's funny because that's what he said about you.
Well, that's the funny thing. I'm not two-faced. I'm faced, baby.
You got one
I'm
face.
faced and based,
He's-
brother. I didn't say anything. I said how I feel. I would say right to your face now. I always thought he was fine. Before he was good. He came on and co-hosted when Johnny was out on one of his. I forget how many times Johnny said he was out, but anyway, and it was fine. I always liked Dizzy. He was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that he called me an idiot after he said, I really respect what you did. I found it to be a little two-faced.
Two-faced.
On his
But he
end.
thinks you're two-faced, which you're not. You're just one-faced.
I'm faced and based.
But you got 4 eyes. Maybe he should have gone with that.
Maybe.
Then when the whole thing with Johnny B, when Johnny B was like, hey, can I come on your podcast? And I had him on. And
so that's so funny that Johnny wanted to go on his podcast.
Can we just make a comment about the podcast, which
Yeah.
I don't want to talk trash. The only thing I'm going to say about the podcast that was a little odd to me was the fact that it was filmed on Instagram, but they were in front of mics.
I commented that the microphones for show,
but maybe they were also recording the show and also just filming it on
I didn't see it
Live.
anywhere else.
It's not posted anywhere else.
I don't see it anywhere
So
else.
the mics
First
were
of all,
just a prop.
that's not to go back, but that's bad. You can't have a podcast on Instagram, you dummy. You have to get a podcast feed.
So he doesn't. It's posted nowhere
He has
else.
an Instagram show,
but they did it in front of the mics.
Yes, which is embarrassing. I really don't. Johnny knows better, but he still played along.
Oh no! Well, he was just being a nice guest. He was being a nice guest.
I guess I would, if it were me, I'd be like, well, doesn't work.
Yeah,
I want that. Anyway.
And then Will talk trash about me for bringing him on. Yeah, and he had nothing against Johnny to say on air. Then he deleted.
Because Johnny, I knew what he was going to say. Johnny said exactly what I thought he was going to say.
What did he say? He said nothing against Johnny on the air?
I didn't say, so his qualm is that I'm mad at him and not Johnny. I should be mad at Johnny.
Okay.
But Johnny didn't say Will's an idiot.
No.
He just said we had a disagreement and I saw it this way. He saw it this way. I mean, a lot of things were said. It was a 42-minute program.
Sure, but Johnny made his points and he didn't bash your character.
He didn't bash my character, no. But this idiot called me an idiot.
Okay.
So that's where I took. Because he's two-faced.
So you're one-faced.
I'm faced and based.
Leading me from all social. I'm like, all right, well, if you're gonna be a bitch, then let's act how we really feel. Then I don't like you now, and I'll slap you in any fighting competition because I think you're a punk.
He's gonna slap you.
Because
that's more demeaning than a punch.
He cannot reach my face.
I was thinking about that.
There's no way he could reach me.
He can maybe reach your liver.
That's true.
Maybe body shots.
That is true. You get jacked in the liver. Listen, I'm not fighting anybody.
You don't even have to punch forward. You can just punch.
I think
down.
I could just football kind of just
Heisman.
stiff arm up.
Yeah.
And he would just be doing that thing. I could just hold him back. I mean, it's insane. This is insane. And it's amazing too that he heard the criticism. Obviously, Dizzy tuned in and heard what was said.
Sure.
And at no point did he go, maybe I was kind of a dickhead. He just went, he got his feelings hurt and is now mad and hates me. So now he's not only dumb, but he's emotionally dumb too. His reaction is to lash out with violence. So he says, I don't believe that, but that's the reaction.
You're looking at me like you want me to co-sign.
I'm not looking at it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Not the brightest bulb. Not the brightest bulb.
Okay.
Because he's a good at getting attention. I will say that. And, even negative attention is attention. But it's funny. It's funny.
Was there more? Was there a little more?
3 foot more. And I love his excitement.
Yeah, I'll knock the taste out of that guy's mouth. I don't care.
My money's on Dizzy. I'm telling you right now.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
What? Dizzy's in the fucking room, dude. If you were in the room, they would be saying the same shit to you.
No, I think
being nice.
I think this happened before, and Mike said that Will would kill you, and I think Dizzy agreed.
Okay, for real, and this is no shade. Like no one, Dizzy and anyone else can't. They can't affect their height. You know what I mean? He can't do anything about it. But he is a very short man, and I would say I'm average woman, maybe an inch below average.
You're pretty tiny.
I'm 5'3", and Dizzy maybe is 5 foot.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah.
So in terms of, if you were to fight Dizzy, I don't see how he'd be able to.
I don't see it. No, you're right. No, you could maybe
body
catch
shots?
me in the. Yeah, I'm pretty soft these days. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
It's a protective coat.
It's a protective coat. That's right. But yeah, I just don't. I've seen him fight Hoppy at the Punch Out, and it was sloppy. You know, Hoppy
He fought
is
Hoppy too.
yeah.
I know
And I
that
think
Hoppy
he
fought a
won.
woman,
Yes,
which was very
Hoppy fought a
progressive,
woman.
by the
He
way.
fought a woman and lost. He
Yeah.
fought Dizzy and lost. And it just, you know, I've seen Dizzy fight, and Dizzy's fat as shit too
Is he
now.
No?
Yeah. So at least the last time I saw him,
Hmm.
maybe he slimmed down a little bit, but yeah, I wouldn't be concerned about it if we were fighting.
Mm.
You know, I don't think I don't know. You say he's got real emotion there though.
I heard some real like anxious. Play it back again. You can hear him breathing. Like when I get really angry, I'm like, you can hear that
Okay.
in the background.
All right, let's see.
Is that what we're calling him?
Well, that's
We're titling it now?
That's what Spike called him.
Yeah, racist Will with the glasses.
Yeah.
Him. Yes.
Why is he racist? Like what?
But why do
Well,
you,
I didn't call him racist.
why do you want to fight him?
I don't like just the way he acts around me, and has been kind of two-faced to me.
Oh,
And then when the whole thing with Johnny B, when Johnny B was like, "Hey, can I come on your podcast?" and I had him on, and then Will talked trash about me for bringing him on.
yeah.
Yeah, and he had nothing against Johnny to say on air.
It wasn't that you brought him on. It's you called me an idiot. You idiot.
Yeah, and maybe it's not anxious energy. I think he's just out of shape.
That could
He's
be.
just breathing.
Yeah, that could be.
My bad. My
It's-
bad. He's not that bad. He's just fat.
Then he like deleted me from all social. I'm like, all right, well, if you're gonna be a bitch, then let's act how we really feel. Then
Why are you
I
such a
don't-
bitch?
I don't think how is that a bitch
Is
move?
that's a fair question.
That's saying fuck you.
Why are you such a bitch?
That's saying fuck you, buddy.
Ooh,
How dare you?
keep going.
You're deleted.
Mm.
Buckaroo. I can't see my tweets now. Buster Brown. How about that?
I'll be in your corner.
Sweet revenge.
Do you think they get mad if I came to the Punch Out?
I don't know now. I mean, I don't know.
It's like, am I back in the Bones good graces? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not good.
But-
I went up to, did I tell you I went up to the bone table at the MacDill Air Force show?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did they know?
So I go up to the table and it's that very young, handsome Hispanic man.
Oh, Emilio. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now
He's very nice.
He's great. And he was there probably maybe, I would guess maybe like 6 months or 7 months before I was out of there.
Mhm.
So there was a little bit of crossover. But I
Yeah.
thought, man, it's been 4 years. He probably doesn't remember me. Like we
Yeah.
weren't friends. I didn't have his like phone number. I didn't really know him.
Right.
So I go up to the table and I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, what kind of music do you guys play? I always say that.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
stupid.
It's fun.
And he starts talking and then he just looks at me and he's just like, he takes off his glasses. He goes, wait a second. It's like, I know you. He goes, you used to work here. And I'm like, yeah, you got me. Like, I was excited that he even recognized me, but very sweet man. Very sweet man.
Emilio.
But I was hoping to see Mike Olivero and have words.
Mm.
Nice words, not
Yeah.
mean words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice words.
Right.
Especially now. Shit.
Yeah.
Some Mike.
I mean,
But
so I don't know. Anyway, just pull this up here.
was that up the whole time?
No, I just brought it back up.
Okay.
So I hope Dizzy enjoys his time at the lake, and I just want to say, feelings mutual. And I hated you first, so I win. Okay, can we just leave it there? You're not going to smack me.
Would you say you are the Kendrick Lamar out of the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef?
I don't really know what that means.
You're Kendrick.
I'm Kendrick.
Yeah.
Hear that?
Because they not like us. Just say that.
They not like us.
They not like us.
That's a fact.
Mhm.
All right. Screw you, Dizzy. And I hope everybody has a great day. And screw Seth too, but also you're good at radio at least. We'll
Yeah,
say
I have
that.
nothing but love. Appreciate
Goodbye,
you listening.
everybody.
Bye.
See you next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Hopefully you newbies will join us. It's fun. And what else, Anna? That's it, right? Home_made_man. I know Anna's offline. WillsYouTube.com. We're on Rumble and audio only podcast HMB Radio. Thank you.
Bye.
Adios.